be New York because it'd count the most because New York has more electoral votes than any other state.
No, that's... wait a minute. Well, that's true, but you're wrong in a certain respect. Rennie?
Well, the reason it would count the most probably is because, you see, there are the total of electoral votes. That's the total of representatives in Congress and the Senate. So that's a minimum of 3, which both Nevada and Wyoming have. 1 congressman at large and 2 senators. So there's a less population, and I don't know the figures on this, but say in New York, 1 vote counts a lot less towards 3 electoral votes than it does in Wyoming.
That's right. The same thing prevails insofar as Wyoming and Nevada are concerned. The same thing prevails in the states of Delaware and Vermont, right along with Nevada and Wyoming. Now then, if he decided he wanted his vote to count the least, Rennie.
Well, as Joe said, that'd be Washington, D.C., probably, where you can't vote, or if he wanted to actually get in the voting, that'd be New York.
In New York State. That's the answer. Absolutely. Yes, sir. And, of course, if he could make up his mind, decided to live where he could not vote at all, it would be in Washington, D.C., or the District of Columbia.
Or he could go live on an Indian reservation.
Well, that's right. That's right, Rennie. I hadn't thought of that one. Yeah, I say that without reservation, of course. Well, now here, this next question, Mr. William Miller of St. Louis, Missouri, asks a question about the first letter of the alphabet. However, this isn't as easy as it sounds, kids. There are 3 parts of the body that have the same names as people famous in literature and which begin with A. Can you name 2? Rennie.
Well, one of them would be your Achilles tendon, which
Achilles.
is that's in your leg, of course.
That's right. Achilles in mythology, and the strong tendon formed at the untied tendons of the large muscles in the calf of the leg inserted into the bone of the heel. All right. I know it says right here. See? Okay, Rennie.
And you have an Adam's apple.
Adam's apple. Would you like to explain that?
Well, the Adam's apple, that's the larynx or the voice box, and your vocal cords are stretched across it, and the sound coming out vibrates through your vocal cords, and it comes out in some sort of noise.
Yeah, that's right. And, of course, the famous person...
Well, that would be Adam.
Adam, that's correct. Marjorie Robbins of Miami, Florida, points out that a good many battles are described in Shakespeare's historical plays. She wants you to tell what battle or what war you associate with these lines. A horse, my kingdom for a horse. Rennie.
Well, that is King Richard, isn't it, the third?
Richard the Third, from the play, Richard the Third. So what battle or what war would you associate?
Oh, dear. I'm not sure of that.
Joe?
Well, I can't give the exact name of the battle or the war, but I can do the next best thing. See, Richard III was King of England at the time, but this was really the end of the War of the Roses. But Henry of Richmond laid claim to the crown, and he came over with a great deal of Frenchmen and a lot of English nobles, and he met Richard III, and he later became Henry I think it was 7th.
Well, Joel, that's all very well and good. You know, you gave the answer to this in what you were just telling me. Do you recall what it was? What war?
The War of the Roses.
That's it. That's the answer. Now, these next lines are from another famous passage. See if you can identify the battle. Once more unto the breach, dear friends, once more, or close the wall up with our English dead. Joe?
Well, that was when Henry V invaded England because he thought he was a successor to invaded France because he thought he was successor to the French throne because the Black Prince had some relative that was a relative of the French king.
All right, what battle was it?
Was it Agincourt?
That's right, Agincourt. That's correct, the Battle of Agincourt. Mm-hmm. Well, I see it's time for the second clue of our Why Is It question, kids, so listen to this and get together for your answer. Remember, you have to guess the object and then tell why is it. Here's your second clue. For the object in question, you have only to look in Chapter 14, number 2 is the book, The Question of Why You Must Supply. There you are. Now, you think about that. In the meantime, while Bob Murphy takes over, you have a minute to consider those clues.
That question you asked a moment ago, Joe, had to do with travel and the progress our modern railroads have made. And it's certainly true, when you travel by train these days, you take the luxuries of home right along with you. Yes, they haven't forgotten one single thing that means convenience and comfort. For example, suppose you have a headache. Well, many of our big modern railroad systems have Alka-Seltzer available naturally. I say naturally because Alka-Seltzer is exactly what most folks want when headache pain causes misery, whether they're at home or away. Yes, they want to take Alka-Seltzer at once because they've discovered that there's nothing quite like it for fast, effective headache relief. And that's absolutely true. Alka-Seltzer is already dissolved when you drink it, so its pain-relieving agent is right ready to go to work on your discomfort, ready to bring you welcome relief. It's little wonder, then, that many of the bigger railroad systems have Alka-Seltzer on hand for the comfort of their passengers. You bet, Alka-Seltzer's what the folks call for when a headache comes along, and if they're tempted to eat more than they should, as is often the case because dining car food is so good. Well, again, Alka-Seltzer comes to the rescue. It can do that any time when headache pain or an acid stomach upset causes discomfort. Remember that, won't you, friends? And don't forget, when those tablets get down to 4, that's the time to buy some more Alka-Seltzer.
All right, now, quiz kids, come on, take your seats. Get out of the huddle. And who's going to be the spokesman now? Lonnie again. All right, Lonnie.
Mount Sinai.
No, that's wrong. You haven't got it yet. But wait a minute. You get one more clue, and here it is. Little drops of water, little grains of red, should clear up all the doubts of other things I've said. Mike?
It's the Red Sea, isn't it?
The Red Sea, that's the answer. Absolutely. Good for you, Mike. All right, now the rest of the question is, why is the Red Sea red?
Because it has red algae in it, and that gives the sea a red tinge.
That's right. It's sort of a seaweed that grows in it. Uh-huh. And I'll tell you what let's do now. Let's sort of clear up the clues, go back. The clue number 1, the letters in mode, M-O-D-E, spell out a clue, easy to see. Mode spelled backwards is Edom, which means red, see? Now, clue number 2, for the object in question, you have only to look in Chapter 14, number 2 is the book, the question of why you must supply, and, of course, the question of why you did supply. So that takes care of it very, very nicely. Now, then, your assignment for next week, here's a doozer, kids. Well, it isn't a doozer. It's a whodunit question. And listen to your first clue now. Very brief. Listen. 1 fork, 2 mouths. Now, you have all week to think about that one, and I'll call on you next Sunday. 1 fork, 2 mouths. All right, here we go with more questions. Now, here is certainly an original idea from Jenny Tent of Chicago. You kids are to imagine that our pianist, Jack Fascinato, is a baseball player. Of course, he goes to bat at the piano, see? And you are to tell how he gets along each time, all right? Now, let's see what's happened to him on his first trip to bat. Jack? Lonnie?
He gets a base on balls. The
Why do you say that?
I'll walk alone.
That's the name of the song?
And
That's
of course,
right.
walk.
Yeah, he gets a base on balls. All right. Jack goes to bat again. Lonnie?
That's Pop Goes the Weasel, so he pops out.
He pops out. Uh-huh. Now then, after this last trip to bat, see if you can give us Jack's batting average for the day. Lonnie?
That's Home Sweet Home, but I couldn't give you his batting average because you can get home by having a time at bat, not having a time at bat, or by getting a time at bat and getting a hit. But if, let's assume he got a hit, that would make his batting average 500 for the day.
That's right.
But if he didn't get it, if he had a time at bat and didn't get a hit but still scored that last time, his batting average would be 0-0-0. And likewise, if he walked.
Yeah, well, we're assuming that he
Yeah, 1-500.
Yeah, we had to get him home. Had to bring him home. That's all there was to it. Rennie?
Well, I was just going to say on that second one that the Pop Goes the Weasel, that starts out all around the Cowboys bench. So he could have gone all around 3 times and struck out.
Well, that's true, but I think it lends itself more to the pop part of this, don't you? Now, here's a question from Neil Baker of New Orleans, Louisiana. If you were to empty the pockets of a violin player, what might you find there, assuming, of course, he carried everything he needed to play his violin in his pockets? Bobby?
A bridge.
You'd find a bridge. All right, you have to have a bridge on a violin. What else would you find now?
A mute.
A mute? Oh, sure. Violin player has to have a mute. And what else, son?
Strings.
Yeah, oh, sure, he'd have the strings. And what else?
And some.
What's that stuff you put on the bowl? The
Rosin.
The rosin, yeah. I was wondering what that was. And can you think of anything else, Bobby, that he might have in his pocket? Huh? Mike?
Tuning keys.
A tuning key? Well, how about that, Bobby? Would he have a tuning key? You don't use a tuning key to tune up violin, huh? Well, all right, Mike, I can't accept that one. Bobby?
Tuning pegs, I think.
Tuning peg?
Yeah.
Let's check with Bobby. How about that, Bobby? Tuning peg?
You wind up the strings by pigs.
Oh, yeah.
Tune them.
Yes, That's what you meant, wasn't it, Lonnie?
Yeah. That's what I meant, too.
Oh, did you? Oh, well, then we're all right. Yeah, we're all right, huh? Lonnie again.
Well, no, you'd carry a chin rest.
A chin rest, And, well, I guess
you don't need a chin rest because that won't break.
There wouldn't... The what now?
You can't... That won't break, see?
The chin rest would break in his pocket?
No.
It wouldn't? Well, he could carry it in his pocket, though, couldn't he?
No.
Why not?
Because it goes under his chin.
Well, we'll just have to assume that he's trying to put his chin in his pocket. Now, that's all it is. Well, there goes our bell, children. So we've come to the end of another Quiz Kids question session. It's time now for the judges to give us their verdict. I see they're already busy with their pencils, and while we're waiting for their decision, here's an important message about One-A-Day brand vitamin.
Don't take chances. Are you sure you're getting all the essential vitamins you need from the food you eat? Remember this. Government surveys show that the meals of 3 out of 4 persons are short on vitamins. Don't take chances. Instead, take One-A-Day brand multiple vitamins. Lack of vitamins in your food can cause you to feel under par and run down. Don't take chances. Instead, take One-A-Day brand multiple vitamins. 60 capsules, 2 months supply, only $2 at any drugstore. Potency guaranteed by Miles Laboratories. Lack of vitamins in your food can keep you from feeling your best and looking your best. Take One-A-Day brand multiple vitamin capsules.
All right, now, Quiz Kids, let's have a look at today's scores and find out who comes back to class next week. Well, remember, whether you win or lose, your appearance on today's Quiz Kids program has won for each of you a $100 security bond from the makers of Alka-Seltzer to help you with your future education. Now then, here are today's grades. As a class, we missed one question this afternoon. The judges report that Mike was first, Lonnie second, and Rennie and Joel tied for third. So we'll see you 4 back at your desks next Sunday. And here to compete with you will be a brand new quiz kid named Melvin Miles, who is 5 years old. Now, between now and then, remember your homework, children. The clue on our whodunit question. 1 fork, 2 mouths. And you listeners, see if you can't figure it out, too, and be sure to tune in next Sunday to see if your figuring has been right. Until next weekend at the same time, this is Joe Kelly dismissing the Quiz Kids class. Goodbye, kids.
Bye, Mr. Kelly.
Listen to the Quiz Kids every week and listen to Alka-Seltzer's News of the World every Monday through Friday on most of these NBC stations. This is Bob Murphy speaking.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.